We're getting set for a brief break from the rain, but I've got more drops in the forecast as we inch closer to the weekend.
There was an increased police presence at schools in 2 counties after what a sheriff called an inappropriate comment to a crisis hotline. I'll tell you why he says he responds to these 100% seriously coming up.
One of Coach Cal's Cats makes a decision about his future. Find out which Wildcat is leaving the team.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer Palumbo. It is another rainy and cool day in the Bluegrass. Here's a live look at one of our sky cams in downtown Lexington, where it's close to 60 degrees. We're getting a break from the rain, though, but it may not last long. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a first look at the forecast. Chris, it'll be good to see the sun.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be absolutely gorgeous, Jennifer. A lot of sunshine out there and temperatures hitting the 70s. Today, though, it has been like pulling teeth to get that clearing line into parts of central and eastern Kentucky. I was noticing on that downtown Lexington cam you were just showing where you had a little more sun. We're just east of that, and we have a little more in the way of some cloud cover. Now, Bluegrass Airport's on the other side of town. Still more clouds and sun, 62 degrees, 60% humidity. So again, another raw feel to the air. But the majority of the region with readings still in the 50s. It's 53 right now into Jackson. Hello, London, 54. 54 Somerset. 66 Covington. We are warmer in the north because that's an area that has been free of the rain for a while. Now let me throw the clouds into the mix. Notice how we're getting some holes in the clouds across northern Kentucky, and it's almost full sunshine north of the Covington-Cincinnati area. Southeastern Kentucky, we're socked in the low clouds for the rest of the day. As we look ahead, great-looking Thursday ready to take shape before heavy rain rolls back into town. We will track that and give you a little insight into a much warmer pattern, Jennifer, that I see taking shape over the next week.
We'll see you in 15 minutes, Chris. A possible threat led to increased security at 3 central Kentucky school districts today. Police say a man called a crisis hotline and made a comment about Sandy Hook, prompting schools in Mercer and Anderson counties to go on alert. WKYT's Sean Moody is in Harrodsburg with the latest in our top story at 4.
The Mercer County Sheriff told me he wouldn't be able to live with himself if there were any kind of a perceived threat at a school they didn't take seriously and something happened to a child. That's why he says he'll take these seriously 100% of the time. This all began early Wednesday morning. Mercer County Sheriff Ernie Kelty said someone called a crisis hotline and during the course of the conversation made a reference to Sandy Hook. That's the school in Connecticut where 26 students and staff were killed in a shooting in 2012. Initially, authorities believed the call came from Mercer County. They later discovered it actually came from Franklin County. Now, Kelty said the person never made any specific threat, but their protocol is to respond anyway. They increased the police presence at Mercer County schools and Bergen schools. Neighboring Anderson County also increased the police presence there. Kelty said even though there wasn't a threat, it's important to take it as seriously as possible.
If something happened to one of our kids and because I didn't either take it seriously enough or did not take the proper, I couldn't live with that.
The sheriff said the person who made that call is not charged with any kind of crime. In Mercer County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
The police presence at the schools returned to normal after investigators determined there was no threat. A Fayette County judge says certain evidence against a man accused of killing a UK employee can be used in his trial. Mark Taylor is charged with murder and kidnapping in the 2013 death of Alex Johnson. Prosecutors say money and drugs found on Taylor during his arrest were stolen from Johnson, but the defense says that can't be proved. Taylor's lawyers asked to have the information thrown out, but today a judge denied their request. Facing a $26 million shortfall, Kentucky's community college system announced today it's cutting more than 500 positions. Most of the positions are vacant, but 170 faculty and staff members will lose their jobs. KCTCS says the shortfall is from declining enrollment and budget cuts by state government. We'll have more on the changes on WKYT News at 5. A tribute today to a fallen Kentucky State Police trooper. Family, friends, and fellow troopers gathered to honor Blake Tribby in Fleming County, where he's buried. He was killed 2 years ago after stopping along Interstate 64 in Clark County to help a crash victim. This past weekend, his name was added to the National Police Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. Today, Tribby's widow talked about her husband and thanked state police for their support.
Of course, I wish he was here, but the fact that he gave his life to help someone else, that means so much. And I expected him to stop and help that night when I saw the wreck, and I'm thankful he did, because just shows the type of man he was.
We'll have more on how Trooper Tribby was honored on WKYT News at 5:30. Our reporters are working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Amber Philpott joins us from the newsroom with a look at some more of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Amber.
Good afternoon to you, Jennifer. Investigators returned to the scene of a house fire this morning to figure out what sparked the flames. Fire officials are still trying to figure out what caused a fire that destroyed a home on Stansbury Cove and damaged 4 others yesterday afternoon. One neighbor tells us she heard a loud noise just before spotting the flames.
I heard a clanging and my dogs started barking really badly, and one was just sitting at the window barking incessantly, and I thought either like the neighbor's cats had maybe knocked something over, and then I got a little nervous that maybe somebody was trying to break in, and then within another couple of minutes I heard a large boom and the whole inside of our house was orange.
Firefighters stayed on the scene overnight to keep an eye on any hot spots. We'll have an update on the investigation on WKYT News at 4:30. University of Kentucky police have issued a crime bulletin after a series of moped thefts on campus. In the last month, police say 9 scooters have been stolen. They say suspect descriptions have been different for each theft. Police have not made any arrests. We'll have a report from campus also on WKYT News at 4:30. That's a look at just some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Amber. Coach John Calipari is losing a player for next season. Freshman Charles Matthews is transferring. UK says the Chicago native will be granted a full release with no restrictions. Matthews called it a difficult decision and thanked John Calipari for his support. Rob Bromley will have more on Matthews' decision and Coach Cal's reaction on WKYT News at 5. Now to a story making headlines across the nation at 4. Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton picked up a narrow win in yesterday's primary in Kentucky, and Senator Bernie Sanders won Oregon's primary. But it's the turmoil caused by Sanders supporters at this weekend's Nevada Democratic Convention that's causing concern. Scott McLean breaks down the chaos on the campaign trail.
Bernie Sanders is down, but far from out.
We are in to the last ballot is cast.
With a win in Oregon and narrow loss in Kentucky, he continues to be a thorn in Hillary Clinton's side, and so are his supporters. Their passion boiled over at the Nevada Democratic Convention, shouting, cursing, and even physical threats over what some viewed as a rigged system. The state party chair received voicemails like this.
I don't know how you sleep at night. You are a sick, twisted piece of and I hope you'll burn for this.
I feel like the Sanders campaign thinks that that kind of stuff is laughable, and to me it's serious. A threat to somebody's life is serious.
Sanders put out a statement condemning violence, but also claiming, quote, Democratic leadership used its power to prevent a fair and transparent process from taking place. Nevada Senator Harry Reid called Sanders' statement silly. DNC Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz was not impressed.
There should never be a but when it comes to condemning violence and intimidation.
The Sanders campaign firing back.
We could have a long conversation just about Debbie Wasserman Schultz and how she's been throwing shade on the Sanders campaign since the very beginning.
It's all raising concern in the party that infighting could spill over into the party's convention this summer.
I worry about what it does to the electorate as a whole, and he should too.
Sanders' road to the nomination remains narrow, but he insists he still has a shot. In Washington, I'm Scott McLean.
Millions of American workers will soon be eligible for overtime pay. What you need to know about the new federal rule in WKYT Money Watch.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Overworked and underpaid. It's a complaint that's become more common in the U.S., but the Obama administration hopes that will change with a new rule requiring businesses to pay more overtime. Weijia Jiang takes a look at the new rule, and that tops today's Money Watch.
Carlos Barillas often works more than 40 hours a week managing a McDonald's restaurant in Washington, D.C.
I think like about 50, 55 something.
But he doesn't get paid extra, earning a flat salary instead. Barillas is one of 4.2 million workers that could soon be eligible for overtime pay under a new rule issued by the Obama administration.
This is an impactful way for us to ensure that American workers are paid fairly.
The annual salary threshold at which companies can deny overtime pay is currently $23,660. Under the new regulations, that figure doubles to nearly $47,500. Barillas says getting paid for OT would change his life.
The extra money, I'm gonna buy them whatever they want. If they are happy, I'm gonna be happy too.
But many groups that represent small businesses say the burden on companies would be too high, and the new rule might actually hurt, not help, the economy.
The Department of Labor is selling a theory, but it's really bait and switch.
The National Retail Federation says many businesses will convert salaried workers into hourly ones.
Many employees may actually see less money as a result of this.
But the White House says a new overtime law is way overdue. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Washington.
The new rule is set to take effect December 1st. It's expected to cover 35% of salaried workers. The current rules only cover 7%. Kentucky bourbon production is up 44%. Bourbon makers in Kentucky filled almost 2 million barrels in 2015 over the previous year, and the most in 48 years. That's according to the Kentucky Distillers Association. The state now has over 6.5 million barrels of bourbon aging. That's the most since 1974. This year, distillers will pay nearly $18 million in barrel taxes. Macy's and malls may be seeing some trouble, but TJ Maxx is going strong. The discount retailer bucked the trend of sluggish department store sales, with sales up 7% in the first quarter. It's proof that Americans aren't just buying online, they're also looking for discounts in stores. Amazon has expanded its restaurant delivery business to include hundreds of restaurants in New York City and Dallas. The company says orders should be delivered in 1 hour or less. The service is free with an Amazon Prime membership and was already available in Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland.
I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about at John Crop Stadium preparing for some regional play. NCAA action softball this weekend.
And it's a very important forecast, obviously, for the weekend. I've got one good-looking day coming your way, and then that weekend does roll around. Hour-by-hour forecast with more rain after the break.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Well, depending on exactly where you are across central and eastern Kentucky, showing a great difference in sky condition out there. Let's look at 9 live sky cams, because for the first time in a while, I have some sun to show you. Hello, Frankfort, a little sunshine. Florence, and into parts of Lexington with at least a partly sunny sky out there now. Farther south and east that we go, it is ugly. The clouds are thick. We still have a little area of drizzle, and it's only into the low and mid 50s across parts of southeastern Kentucky. 62 Lexington with a hint of some sun. Covington and Louisville 66 degrees with more sunshine. Here on your Defender Radar Network, we can show you clouds as well as precipitation. A little light shower southeastern Kentucky. Look how white that we're seeing here. That would be the overcast skies into southeastern Kentucky. Notice the holes, though, showing up across parts of central and northern Kentucky. That's where we are getting in on some partly sunny skies. And then full sun showing up as close by as Dayton, Ohio. Let's go into the day tomorrow. Yes, let's get into the day tomorrow quickly. 73 in the afternoon. Sunshine galore coming your way. 65 lunchtime after a cool start at 45, but overall you had me at sunshine. Hour by hour forecast with temperatures as we go through the evening still dropping quickly, and again models are overshooting the numbers a little bit, kind of missing out on the clouds southeastern Kentucky. 40s in the morning will likely transition to some low 70s coming up tomorrow afternoon. We keep the partly cloudy skies going through tomorrow evening. Fast forward into the day on Friday. Can we just go back to Thursday? Here comes the rain, increasing as the day goes on, and by late afternoon and into the evening, it will become heavy at times. Friday's likely a day with temperatures back into the 60s. For your Saturday, Rain around early in the morning, especially the deeper we get into the afternoon. This model's way too aggressive with temperatures. I do expect the shower chance to hang tough into Saturday. And between Friday and Saturday, computer models are trying to spit out another inch plus of rain across central and eastern Kentucky. At this point, I guess why not? We're running way above normal with rain, way below normal with temperatures. It has not been a very nice spring at all across the Bluegrass State, at least for May. April was good. 73 tomorrow. Enjoy it. Here we go. Heavy rain on Friday. That'll carry us into a part of Saturday as well. And by the time we go into next week, take a look at Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with temperatures that will hit 80 degrees or better Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Right now, let's get a check on traffic. Let's head out to the roads, see what is going on. And across Lexington, things are mostly in good shape right now until we get in on the south side of town. Manowar at Sarin Drive, an accident showing up in that particular area right now. Drive times, everything is green with the exception of Paris, where speed is down to 41 miles an hour. That's taking just a little longer than normal with a 22-minute commute from Lexington to downtown Paris.
This is a big week for the University of Kentucky softball team.
Deanne Stevens out and about today, joining us to tell us exactly why. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here at John Crop Stadium where we are soaking up some puddles. Is that what we're doing? Soaking up puddles?
Soaking up puddles.
We're preparing for the NCAA Division I regionals happening here this weekend. Thank you, buddy. I'm gonna let the professionals do that. But what I understand from this machine, this is like 1 of 10 in the world here we have at the University of Kentucky. I think we might need it before Friday. Coach Rachel Lawson, are you proud?
Oh, I'm very proud. You did awesome.
I was a little nervous. That's a big machine.
Yeah, it's a huge machine. I've never driven it. I've never even tried.
So from what he was telling me, it's pretty cool that we have this here. This will be very beneficial come regional play on Friday.
Yes, it's amazing. So the fact that we have the machine and then we have the people who know how to use the machine and are willing to do it is great, because without this, we would have a rain out. So with it, what happens is we can get the field ready so that we can play this weekend.
Okay, let's talk about this weekend. We got big regional play happening this weekend. Things kicking off at 3:30 on Friday afternoon here at John Crop Stadium. But the game we want to discuss happens at 6 o'clock.
It does. At 6 o'clock, we're playing Butler in the first round of regionals. So we're really excited about that.
What kind of team is Butler?
Butler's really good. They're feisty. They've had 2 come-behind wins to win their conference championship, and we played them a couple of years ago, and it was a pretty tight game.
But they might be feisty, but they're no University of Kentucky team, right? Because we got some killer girls this year.
Yes, we do. Kelsey Nunley's been doing great, Megan Prince, so we're going to have to see a good outing by them. Our defense has been awesome all year, so I'm expecting they'll show out again, and then if we get our timely hits, we should be in pretty good shape.
Best of all is when those fans show up, our UK fans. Talk a bit about that. How that makes such a big difference for the girls?
It does. Anytime they can play in front of the Big Blue Nation, it's awesome, because when we go to all the other SEC schools, there's a ton of softball fans, but they're not wearing the right colors. So the fact that we can be on our own field, and when our team looks up and they see a whole stadium of blue, really gets them pumped up and ready to go.
Yeah, so get your blue on and plan to get out here Friday night. 6 o'clock is game time. UK taking on Butler, and then play will continue.
It will. The winner of our game and the game that plays at 3:30 will play each other on Saturday. So it's a double elimination tournament, and the championship game is on Sunday.
All right, NCAA Regionals Division I happening here at the University of Kentucky this weekend. You and I got to get back. It's your turn now. It's your turn now to soak up the puddles.
Of a study as you are. So
Listen, I know better, Miss SEC. Coach of the Year here, Coach Rachel Lawson. Thanks for being here. Come out and cheer on our University of Kentucky softball team this weekend. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
Good luck to the Cats. Thank you, Deanne. A new study looks at which surgeries are best for small rural hospitals. The results ahead in Better Living. And how Taco Bell is getting a little fancy with a makeover. The change is next on WKYT News at 4. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $60 million, and Friday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $187 million. It's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Small rural hospitals may be a safer and less expensive choice for people needing common operations. That's according to a new study. Researchers tracked 1.6 million hospital stays for Medicare patients who underwent gallbladder or appendix removal, colon surgery, or hernia repair. They found uncomplicated surgeries performed in small rural hospitals had equal or better outcomes than surgeries performed in big city hospitals. New research shows women who eat 4 or more servings a week of potatoes are more likely to have an increased risk of high blood pressure. Researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital and Harvard Medical School say the findings are similar for men who eat more servings of French fries. Potatoes have a high glycemic index compared to other vegetables, so they can trigger a sharp rise in blood sugar levels. Texas researchers say people over the age of 50 who lead busy lives have better cognitive function than their non-busy peers. The study of more than 300 older men and women finds, regardless of their education, the busiest people are better able to learn and understand quickly and have stronger memories of past events. Taco Bell is testing out some new looks at its restaurants. The Louisville-based food chain will experiment with 4 different design concepts this summer that feature sleek, modern seating, exposed wooden beams, and trendy light fixtures. The company wants to increase evening sales and compete with upscale chains such as Chipotle. Now let's head over to Chris, and we are looking at a really nice day tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to upscale our weather as we go into Thursday as well. Today, depends on where you are. You're getting in on some better stuff. Look at Frankfort. Sunshine. Lexington, a hint of sun. Both locations low 60s. Jackson, I'm sorry. London, sorry. Still some clouds here and temperatures into the 50s across southeastern Kentucky. So a nice little 10-degree swing, if not greater, from north to south right now across Kentucky. The north doing much, much better than the south with some rays of sun.
Enjoy tomorrow while you can.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Friday, we'll talk about that later.
All right, we are tracking breaking news. Sam Dick and Amber Philpott have it for you next on WKYT News at 4:30.